G'day, it's Adam here and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try and delve back into the trenches of the mine and trying to unpack some of the motivations that drove me to essentially building a backpackers resort over on a tropical island in Thailand. There's a lot of layers to this. I guess you could say one just doesn't set off on a holiday and stay and build a backpackers without quite a few levels of motivation or inspiration behind it. Where to start? Well, the enjoyment of travel and adventure. Back at that stage before having the family, I was heading off on a trip overseas once a year or so, maybe more, and would tend to go to places, islands, beaches, where the sun was shining and it was tropical and warm and the food and fun was plentiful. So I guess that's one reason. Another reason, I suppose, was I lost my mum probably 7-8 years ago, and some of her parting words to me were along the lines of, Adam, follow your dreams, do what makes you happy, do it while you can. That was certainly going through my mind. Other reasons include having travelled in the past to places like Thailand and the Philippines, Boracay, other islands, and meeting other travelers along the way. You know, you have a great time while you're abroad, you're having a lot of fun, you're in the moment. I met a guy from Canada, and we started to talk about, look, this would be great if we could have our own little beach bar here on this incredible beach where we could play beach volleyball every day, serve drinks, have endless sort of fun and excitement. So that was one of the first conversations I had with the partner quite a few years ago. So that was in my mind, and probably even years before that I ended up in Cambodia, a place called Sanuksville. One person pointed me in the direction of another Aussie guy who had built a few bungalows on the beach there, and I got to meet him and have a chat. So certainly there was some foundation behind it. That was always in my mind. At the time I was working with I'd been working for my employer for 12, 13, 14 years. It was a good job. I was quite happy. However, what was kind of itching away in the back of my mind more increasingly so as the years went by was, is this all I'm destined to do, to repeat this every day until no more? And I was a bit uncomfortable with that idea, that this was all I was going to do, even though it was pretty good. I had a good lifestyle, the money was okay, I had quite a lot of freedom and plenty of free time to be able to travel and everything else. But just the idea of repeating until the end disturbed me. But I didn't know what else I would do or could do. I just knew that there was something else I needed to do. Definitely needed an adventure. I wasn't prepared to just quit that job and take any other job. It didn't really add up because what I had was really good. There was job satisfaction. I felt appreciated. I was good at what I did, and I could see I was making a difference in the community. So I wasn't prepared to give that up just for another job, but I didn't know what it would take for me to unplug from that and go all out into something else. So you could say there was a bit of a dream to have this other life, but I didn't know what it would be, what it would look like, and how it would come about. So as I mentioned in the first video, it really started out me booking another trip to Thailand and setting off for 2 to 3 week holiday. That's how it began. But this video is about the motivations. I guess if I reflect on what kind of a person or a character I am, I do have an impulsive tendency. I do tend to take risks. Not always, sometimes. Sometimes I act before fully thinking things through, and I'm at peace with that because I know that with that brings some success and also brings some failure. But I'm quite okay with that. Just think that's just the balance of life. I would rather take a risk to see what else could be, rather than, as I mentioned, just sitting pretty but repeating the same thing over and over again until the end. So I guess my personality definitely plays into how I left everything and then ultimately built a backpackers resort over on a tropical island in Thailand, which was up there with my top 1 or 2 favorite places to travel to. So I literally made a dream come true, and I'm gonna share bit by bit every step of the way. So hopefully I've been able to explain some of the motivations behind it. One thing I didn't mention was, I guess, it was the broken relationship. So I headed off on this holiday with the ex-girlfriend, and that went pear-shaped pretty quickly. So I guess it was that was the catalyst. The breakup was the catalyst to me calling back home to my work saying, look guys, I've just been, I got some personal issues going on. Can you grant me another month off just to gather my thoughts and get myself together? So I had a bit of a hard time during that month. Definitely was in a bit of shock. Look, probably in another video I'll go more into the relationship, but this was definitely a motivating factor. Whether it was an FU or not, that was probably part of it actually. As I mentioned, that Canadian friend of mine at the time, once he realized there was a single guy in Thailand and he happened to have some holidays available, he hit me up and said, yo Adam, look, hey, if you're going to be sticking around, I'll jump on the next plane and then we can continue on with our adventures. So of course I said, yeah, that'd be great, get over here. So once again, we were back together, myself and this former mate who had previously been talking about building a business on a beach in the Philippines. So here we are in Bangkok, get together, had a bit of fun there, and then headed out to the islands. That's where we found Koh Chang. So whilst we were cruising around on a motorbike in Koh Chang, I drove by, looked to the left, and saw this huge place on the main road with a big for sale sign at the front. And there was an email address. And we went out fishing that night, and I sent an email to the guy. He replied straight away. I basically sent him what I thought was a ridiculously low offer, and he accepted. And that's how it all started. Look, thanks very much for tuning in. Look, if you want to make me happy and or you are enjoying the content and want to encourage me to keep sharing the story, look, just hit subscribe. Would really appreciate that. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks, bye.